All right. Prop the mic, PTM here. What's up? How's it going?
What's up? It's going good, man.
Ready for a fresh new week. Home stretch of the NBA season. 20-something games left for everybody. This is where the money's made, my friend.
Yeah, this is where there's some consistency in the plays.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna do some good stuff.
Yes.
All right, so let's just talk about Dame last night real quick. 71. What we finished with?
Yeah.
The guy was like unstoppable.
Unbelievable. It was amazing.
The number of like 30 to 40 plus point games against the Rockets this year is like break. So it's pretty embarrassing.
Yeah. Well, he was on our matchup list there, point guards against Houston.
That's true.
We didn't have the pod yesterday, but we had a little call, and but his line was 36.5. It scared us off a little bit, but like you said, it shouldn't have.
Yeah, don't be scared by Dame.
Yeah.
All right, so let's dive into today. 4-game slate. You ready?
I'm ready. Let's do it.
Let's do it. All right. First, we got the Pistons at the Hornets. Hornets are minus 6.5. Totals 235. The Pistons are pretty decimated today, which is why there aren't lines out on that side. Duren is out, Ivy is out, Bogdanovich is out, and Stewart is questionable.
Oof.
So, yeah. So it's that's why there's really just Killian Hayes was available from a prop standpoint.
Yeah.
And then I think the Hornets pretty much have everybody. So,
What do you Stewart's questionable?
He was questionable.
Okay.
I think he'll play. I think out of necessity he'll play. Just to field a 5-man lineup. They'll probably have to play him.
I would be so matchup wise, Biggs against Charlotte is a huge matchup across every single stat category. They're like top 5 points, rebounds, assists, and then all the combos of those. So it's a great play today. Even if Stewart doesn't play, Wiseman might even be a nice guy to look at here. But obviously no lines out yet, so I don't have anything on the Detroit side. On the Charlotte side, we can look at combo shooting guards, which is Terry Rozier, have been successful against Detroit, averaging 21 points and 5.5 rebounds since February 1st. So I like Terry here, 21.5 points. His last 3 games against Detroit this season, 23 and 25. Last season, 33 and 25. And it wouldn't be a PTM podcast without a bet on Terry Rozier, right?
Yep, he is in our. We were offline. We were coming up with our starting 5 for the PTM pod, and Terry is definitely the point guard. And then there's like 4 centers.
It's a weird lineup.
We love the big men. I like Terry. Yeah, Terry's good. I also like big men on the Detroit side. His lines aren't out yet, but I'd be interested to see what Wiseman's lines come out with.
Yeah.
He's played 3 games for Detroit so far. Rebounds have been 5, 10, and 10. Points have been 11, 8, and I think 10.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's anything like 6.5, 7 rebounds for him, I would jump on that in a second.
Yeah, I love it. Since February 1st, Biggs against Charlotte, averaging 17.5 points and 11.5 rebounds per game. So
yeah, in those same 3 games, playing together, Stewart's gone 14 and 6, 10 and 8, and 5 and 9. So they both are good plays. Both are going to put up similar, like near double stats. So
yeah,
just look at whichever of them looks more attractive and go for one of them, I would say.
Yeah. The other one I liked here was Gordon Hayward, because PJ Washington's probably not going to play. And regardless, it's not like he has super compelling stats with PJ Washington out, but the small forward matchup is really good. So small forwards against Detroit since February 1st, averaging just under 24 points per game. So I like Hayward here, 16.5 points. He's done it in his last 4 or 5, averaging 22.2 points per game. And he's also done it in his last 5 of 7 at home, averaging 18.2 points per game.
Yeah, It does. Last time we played him, we got a little bit surprised by the minutes restriction. He was basically on a tight 25, 26 minute restriction. Last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 games, it looks like he's probably on like a 30 to 35 minute restriction, which basically is no restriction. So,
and even more so with Washington out, he'll get some extra run.
Yeah, he's been putting up big numbers. Yeah, so I like Hayward too.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Okay. All right. Awesome.
Yeah, I wouldn't. The only thing I'd look at maybe, I think with all these guys missing from Detroit, Hamidou Diallo is going to be a great play. The small forward matchup against Detroit is really good. So keep an eye out for Diallo when his lines come out later today. Yeah.
Okay. Good on this game.
Let's move on.
All right. Now we have a more relevant game for playoff seeding. We got the Heat at the Sixers. Sixers are -6 at home. What an incredible finish to that Sixers Celtics game the other day. Embiid was like probably 0.3 of a second from hitting the best shot of the year. Yeah. Maybe of the decade.
It was I just happened to be I had it on in the house, and we all ended up, the wife and James and everybody ended up watching it, and they were still talking about it yesterday, how awesome that was and how great of a finish it would have been. But
it was incredible. And actually in last night's game, for the Clippers, Paul George hit a shot at the end of regulation that went in.
Go to overtime, man.
It didn't count, but that would have won the game too.
That would have won the. Oh, that's right.
Yeah. All right. So the total is 217. So this is going to be a low scoring game.
Yeah.
But some decent narratives and a lot of data points because remember, these two teams played in the playoffs last year. So
I don't put as much stock into the playoffs because the rotations are much smaller. Like you see when you have these matchups, like all of a sudden all the scoring output for the main guys jumps up significantly. So I take it slightly cautiously, but yes,
that's a good point. Yeah. Jimmy Butler, who I was looking at, he probably played 38 minutes a game or something like that. Yeah. So
he doesn't play like that in the regular season. Yeah. So I like the big/power forwards who PJ Tucker is a member of. Is a great matchup. Ooh, I like it. All right. So averaging 22.3 points per game since February 1st. His line tonight is only 4.5. He's done it in 6 of 7 overall, averaging 7 points per game. And his last 4 or 5 at home, averaging 6.2 points per game. So I know this was your play the other day. I don't know if you were headed over to BetMGM to be able to place this. What was the PJ Washington bet that you
PJ
did?
Tucker?
PJ Tucker.
No, I mean, that was even more attractive. That was 2.5 points.
Oh, 2.5 points.
Literally 1-3 and you win. And it did. He had a lot of points that game. I think he had like 10 points. And there's a little revenge narrative here too, right? This is the first game that he's playing against the Heat.
Oh, that's right.
Last year.
Yeah, that's right.
So he's going to be going after it. I looked up he only played one season on the Heat, so you have another data point. I looked up how he performed against the Bucks in his games last year.
Okay,
as a member of the
Bucks. Okay, interesting. I like it.
Right?
Yeah.
Against the first game against the Bucks, he had 8 points, 6 rebounds. Then he had a quiet game. This was actually in Milwaukee. 2 points, 1 rebound. Didn't play a lot of minutes. Next game, he had 15 points, 7 rebounds, and the final game, he had 8.7 rebounds. So he had some pretty productive games for him.
Yeah.
He certainly scored more on the Heat than he does on the Sixers, but
recently he's been scoring more than usual. It looked like.
Yeah, I think this is a almost a no-brainer if he plays 26 minutes or more. That's kind of the threshold. He's 8 for his last 10 when he plays 26 minutes. And in his last 2 games, he's played 32 minutes and 37 minutes. So I was all over this one too.
Yeah. I feel like this is a game that guy like PJ Tucker plays a lot in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think so. This is going to be a competitive game.
Yeah.
I hope. I don't know. The Heat either are in great games or get blown out. So we'll see. But Jimmy Butler is is the other side of the coin that I was looking at, and this is obviously a revenge game for him as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, did you like Jimmy tonight, or
it was pop? So power forwards against Philly. Like Philly's very good defensively, so we have to be a little careful. But rebounds and assists were two categories that were really good for that position. Do I think I kind of like the rebound and assist line for Butler? I feel like he kind of, and he gets up for these games. And the problem with Jimmy is either going to do, I feel like he does one or the other, right? It's like a big scoring night, or he's like playmaking and grabbing boards. So I don't know. What did you have for him?
I mean, I looked at his last 5 games versus Philly. Most of those were the playoff games.
Yeah.
22 points, 33 points, 40 points. 23 points, 32 points. So lots of scoring. But again, most of those were playoff games, if not all of them. In the last 10 games, he's had over 22 points, 7 out of 10. And in the last 8 games away, he's crossed this threshold in 6 out of 8. So
okay.
So I think he's a good play tonight, because I think he will get up for this game, but it'll be close, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. I'm just a little hesitant. Also with the low scoring, a lot of defense in this game.
Good point.
Yeah,
good point.
There was one other that I like. So combo / shooting guard against Miami, assist wise, averaging just under 6 assists per game since February 1st. So I like Melton here, over 1.5 assists. He's done his last 6 of 8 overall and his last 8 of 10 at home.
Yeah, I like that one too. The odds weren't great. It was
minus 168 or something. Yeah.
So, but yeah, if you wanted to pair that with something else, that would be good.
Yeah. All right. That's all I got.
All right, let's move on to the next game. We got the Celtics at the Knicks. Knicks are getting 2.5 points at home. Totals 223.5. What do you like? Hey, guy.
All right.
Our other member of PTM.
Yes, home from school today. Point guards, assists for point guards against Boston, really nice. 8.7 assists per game since February 1st. So Brunson, over 5.5 assists at plus 125. I like that. His last 2 games against Boston, he had 7 and 10 assists. Sorry. And then who else we got? Wing / small forward, also assists and rebounds and assists. So I like Barrett here, over 5.5 RA. He's done it in 7 of his last 10 at home, averaging 8.2 RA. And listen to this. When he plays at home and plays more than 25 minutes, he's done this in 22 of 25 games, and he's averaging 9.5 RA. So
yeah, that's nice. I think Jaylen Brown is also out of this game, so that's another good defender.
Okay,
let me just double check that.
Yeah,
but that's another good defender that
for sure
opening up some for Barrett.
I liked one other. So wing,
Brown's out of this game.
Brown's definitely out. Oh, okay.
Yeah, definitely out.
All right. So yeah, I actually do like that for RJ a little more, because he will get Brown defense. Wing shooting guards have a nice matchup here in the steals department. So I like Quickly over to get 1 steal. It's plus 105, which is beautiful. He's done it in 5 straight games against Boston. Last 7 of 10 overall and last 7 of 10 at home.
Nice.
Yeah.
Did you like Quickly points tonight again? 11.5 points.
Yeah.
He's done it in 7 of his last 7 games, and 2 games versus Boston, he had 17 and 4. So, but yeah, I don't know.
I mean, points across any position were not like not something that was popping off against Boston. So, I didn't dig too much. Quickly's been hot. We cashed
with Smart back. That may not be the best play.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then we got you good for that game?
Yeah, I had to play on Jaylen Brown, but he's out. So.
All right, and then we got Magic at the Pels. Pels are -4, totals 227.
Yes, sir.
What do you like here?
So forward, power forwards against Orlando. We keep coming back to this over and over again. It's a prime matchup across every stack category, including steals. Unfortunately, the power forward for the Pels is a super low usage guy, Herb Jones. But I do like his points. 8.5 points, -105. His last 2 games against Orlando, 10 and 15. Sorry, so he cleared it in both. And his last 2 home games, he had 11 points in both of his last 2 home games, each of his last 2 home games. So,
and Ingram played in those games, right?
Yeah, he did.
Okay.
So that was one. The other one I liked was your point guard matchup here against Orlando. So Jose Alvarado, his rebound line is 1.5.
Wow.
Point guards have been averaging 5.3 rebounds per game against Orlando. He's done this the last 2 times he played Orlando. He had 4 rebounds in each of the 2 games. And he's done this in his last 6 of 10 at home. So I like that. It's -150 though, so not super juicy. But the other one I like is point guards against Orlando have been averaging 2 steals per game since February 1st. So his steal line for 1 steal is -135, and he's done it in 3 of 5 at home. So I think maybe put those 2 together. 2 rebounds and 1 steal. This parlay has your name written all over it.
I do like those. I'll be just careful a little bit with Alvarado because he's only had 15 minutes.
Low minutes,
yeah. Yeah, the last 2 games. So, okay.
Yeah.
And then anybody on the Orlando side?
So Biggs against New Orleans is a huge matchup here. So Wendell Carter is in a prime spot. I think we got to play him here. Not a lot of he's been pretty inconsistent all over the place. So I'm not going to give you anything like his points in 8 of his last 10. But I think at 15.5 points tonight is a great bet. Biggs averaging 20.3 points since February 1st. Also averaging 11 rebounds per game against New Orleans. So his rebound line's 8.5. He's done that in 6 of 10 on the road, and his last 3 games against New Orleans, 9, 8. So he got hooked on that one, and 12.
Yeah, he's very hook worthy.
Yeah,
Wendell. He, I just want to see it. He got in a lot of foul trouble last game. Just want to see what he's. Yeah, his last 4 games, he's had 4 fouls, 5 fouls, 3 and 4. So that is of concern. He only played 18 minutes against Indy.
Yeah,
which was a prime matchup for him as well. I saw a lot of people were on that, but then he had 3 fouls in the first 5 minutes.
So you know what you do? You know what you do then? You bet if you're betting Wendell Carter, you bet Mo Wagner too. Okay, and you take him on his points as well because if he gets in foul trouble, Mo will pick it up and away we go. So that would be my recommendation.
Away we go with Mo.
Away we go. And then go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you about a player, but maybe you're about to talk about him.
About playing Gary Harris for the 3rd straight game.
No, I had another guard, which was his stats were surprisingly great. Let me throw it out.
Okay.
Cole Anthony, rebounds and assists. You like him?
I like his assists.
Yeah, I mean it's weird because he only plays on the last 10 games or last 5 games.
Like 18 minutes a game.
Yeah, 18 to 20 minutes a game. So he doesn't get high usage. I don't even know if he plays in the first quarter. I think watching the last game, he only came in sometime in the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, his assists are really good, right? His rebounds and assists were also good.
Yeah.
Very, very efficient while he's out there.
Yeah. So point guards against New Orleans averaging 9.5 assists per game since February 1st. His line's 3.5. And his last 3 games against the Pelicans, he cleared in all 3, 4, 5, and 11 assists. Because that was last season though.
Yeah, I think Fultz has eaten into his
for sure
his minutes, but yeah, he's super efficient while he's out there.
Yeah, and then just getting back to that Gary Harris play, so wing/shooting guards averaging 18 points per game against New Orleans since February 1st. His line's 7.5. His last 3 games against New Orleans, 15, 16, and 22. 15 was this year, 16 and 22 were last year.
They got so many guards, right? Between what do they got? Harris, Fultz, Anthony,
Suggs,
and Suggs.
Yeah.
Right? It's like they're like one guard too deep.
Yeah.
Which kind of kills the minutes for everybody. But Harris gets pretty good playing time. I was on him for the Indy game. We had talked about that.
Yeah.
He had the volume. He shot, I think, like 6 or 7 threes. They just weren't falling.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's a good play.
And I know Franz is not a guard, but he brings the ball up quite a bit. I mean, he plays. He's definitely a playmaker too. So they got a lot of guys that handled the ball for that team. That's for sure. Yeah.
All right, cool. Those are all good plays. I like those.
All right.
Low usage guys, which is always scary.
Yes.
Right. It's like don't watch that game.
Yeah.
Because you'll be screaming when these guys get pulled out after 6 minutes.
But I love this.
All right, cool.
I love this slate tonight. Nice small slate, and I like all the games. This is a good one.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
We got some exciting stuff this week. We're gonna do a little fan interaction on Twitter. We actually, I'll tease. We actually have a collab coming up too. So a lot of cool stuff this week. So stay tuned. Set the alerts on Twitter so you can see what's going on there.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
nice work, Dave.
Good stuff.
All right, talk to you later.
Bye.
Bye.